Wow. Okay. China was driven.
My mom, when I was 16, well, I knew her as a fighter because we were going through like a really tough time at that point in my life. So I watched her like battle her way through a lot of things that she had to overcome herself. She definitely had community, but like she was a fighter. And she was, I would say she was very driven as well. Like she began her own business. She also still like stayed committed to all the other things that she had prior to like that rough patch. So it's just like really cool to see her like fight through that and then still be committed and driven to the other priorities she has.
I think because China was very passionate and driven about those things that she definitely wanted to do. I think what our struggle was getting her to understand how to, keep in mind that we're a unit and that she can still have her dreams and her visions and her determination, but she can't, we can't exclude the fact that it's a lot of us in the family because she's the oldest of five. So I used to have to always remind her when I couldn't do things or when I couldn't make things or how we were going to shift things around. And so we bumped heads a little bit about that because she just, she wanted it to be about her at that time in her life. So it had to be about her.
My mindset was, I assume I'm 16, so I can make my own decisions. Like that's just my naive thinking. Like I'm 16, I should be able to do what I want to do. I should be able to go out with my friends. I should be able to talk to boys at night. I should be able to, do what I want to do. But I just didn't understand, like she said, like we are a unit. So the things that I was doing was affecting my family. Like a relationship that I was trying to be in at that age was like definitely affecting my family because I was so passionate about it and I wanted it so bad. I felt like I was deserving of it. And that was just a sense of entitlement, I guess, that I had with that, amongst other things. Like I felt like, oh, why do I have to babysit? Every time somebody asks me to go out, I have to babysit. Why? But now looking back, I'm grateful that I was at home with my siblings because we're like this now. Even though they're like little, like I'm glad that my mom, like I saw a different perspective. It wasn't because she was trying to stifle me from having a social life, but because she needed me to be there. So I was just really, just kind of just not getting it. And I really wanted what I wanted. So yeah, it was definitely like a pull and tug.
Well, China is still very driven now. China is still doing what China wants to do. That is, I have to claim some responsibility in that. So some of it I let it slide because I know she got it from me. But I think once she went off to college and she had a sense of independence and she was out there and I wasn't there every day. And I think she, her relationship with Christ became personal in a different way because she had to incorporate how to have a social life and how to do her schoolwork and how to follow her dreams and how to try to have a relationship or a courtship with a young man and then stay saved in it all. And I think she had to figure all of that out. And when that happened, I think she matured and there were certain things that she would just understand. Like we would be talking and she'd be like, oh yeah, that's fine, mom, I get it, or I could see little, inferences of her, becoming a young woman and her getting it. I'm like, oh, she had an Oprah moment, like, mom. But it just happened during that time that I could really say that I saw it. And I was really proud of her because it wasn't something that I had to thrust upon her, but that she was mature enough to come into her own. I would just say to always understand your child, know the child, as mothers, we have the privilege of carrying them and raising them, and then we see them for who they really are. And when you see what they have inside of them, you don't always have to cater to what they do wrong. You speak into them what you know is already there, and that gives them a sense of, purpose in the world. So even with Chinaa, I knew what her gifts were very early on. I knew how her heart was. I knew as a kid she was that bubbly, friendly, loving kid. And when she started to get away from that, I corrected her. But I would say what I found to be helpful is to speak or to always cater to what I knew was inside of her already. And those are the good things, and those are the positive things. And so I catered to that when I talked to her, and I told her who she was, and told her why she couldn't do those things. We don't do those things because of this, And so she never got away from who she really was, because I never let up on it. I reminded her of that. And so when you're conflicting as a young parent, because I was a young parent, and you're raising a teenager, you can't be influenced by what other parents are allowing their kids to do. Because as a young parent, I'm like, well, so-and-so can have boys at their house at 12 and 11 and 10. But I had to be firm in what I believed, and I had to make sure she understood that and not compromising on everything. And the last piece of that is just knowing that I believed, because I trust God, I always told my kids, I'm not your friend now. Don't want to be your friend. Don't care if you like me. It didn't faze me. But I knew if I did a good job, like my mom did with me, we could be friends later. We could get along later. And I would trust and believe that in who I know she could become, that circle would come back to me. So I never got afraid of losing her for disciplining her. And I think sometimes parents feel like, oh, my child's going to go away. They're going to fall into these people's hands, or they're going to do that if I'm not their friend. And I didn't care, because I trusted God.